I want to get into the Chrissie interview. Chrissie's so excited. Her chompers are out. Look, she's thinking money. Nick looks better here in this episode. Nick calling cops pussies. Watch this.
They asked them if they wanted to talk, and they both said, we want our lawyer. And so they stopped asking the questions. Kudos to them.
Kudos.
But
kudos to
as far
WinBy2
as
Radio.
for me, like they, I gave a statement willingly because I wanted to call the cop a pussy a whole bunch. Sorry, I'm kind of an asshole.
You did call the cop a pussy?
Yeah.
I'm sure he liked that.
Believe me, that wasn't going to get me in any worse issue than I was in at the time. So it was like, I said, where's your probable cause statement
Pussy.
for the warrant? Like they showed me the
Where's your probable cause statement for the warrant? Pussy.
warrant, which just says they have the warrant to search your house. And I was like, yeah, based on what? And I said, I know your probable cause is bullshit. So show it to me.
None of that happened.
He's like, oh no, I got it. I got this probable cause.
Like you might have said like your probable cause, like you don't have any probable cause. You didn't say it was bullshit. I mean, you're not mouthing off the cops. I mean, who are you trying to fool?
And I'm serious. This is how I was acting. It was funny. He's like, I got you.
Oh, you're serious. Oh, he's serious. He's serious. He must be telling the truth. He's serious.
I got this probable cause. And I'm serious. This
Yeah,
is how I was
serious.
acting. It was funny. He's like, I got your probable cause. I was like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Like, you know it's bullshit.
He called him there's no way he called him a pussy.
So that was fun. Having a nice exchange with another citizen.
Yeah.
And he goes for the sip. 18 minutes. We're going to get an update on the hair follicle test.
Talk to my attorney about what we're going to do and stuff like that.
And the part you mentioned about Barnes talking about hair follicle testing, that's because they tested your kids for drugs and something came up on one of their hair or something like that. And I didn't understand, like, how does that even get into somebody's hair?
You know, that's a really, really good question. And the hard part is the internet goes with this weird theory that like someone was dosing my child with a drug. They blame me, of course.
It looks a lot like dry shampoo. That's what I figured. 'Cause I use dry shampoo all the time instead of washing my hair.
Look, I have no idea about that. What I don't know is how that test result came to be. And there's a lot of ways that a test result can come to be that have nothing to do with taking drugs. And this is, again, if you want a good exploration of like the problems with hair follicle testing in specific, go watch the Barnes video. Don't sit and listen to me. Like I could talk quite a bit about it now. I've done a ton of research on catching up on the literature for it, how the legal world treats it, what you would have to do to challenge all of it. The reality is whether or not we end up challenging it depends highly on how our cases go. And there's no real indication right now of what that looks like in specificity. Not enough for me to comment anyway. So, but you can go watch it. But the answers for how like cocaine gets in a hair follicle test range from someone's doing cocaine to someone is exposed to cocaine through some sort of environmental condition. And that environmental condition doesn't necessarily mean in the environment. If we take it out of cocaine, for example, and we go into meth, people who smoke meth house, there's meth in the air, actual meth fumes, and those can be absorbed into hair follicles. And so what you have is in places where
but that's meth. How did the coke? Was there coke fumes? Were you guys smoking crack?
Racism. It's never not fun.
Watch him take from his mustache.
What do you
It's
think,
disgusting.
Nick, are some of the biggest, like if you could dispel
Rumors.
like the top two rumors in your situation, or the top couple of mistruths, what would they be?
Well, there's one in the chat. Donovan says Nick is a child neglector at minimum. We're not charged with child neglect. We're not accused of child neglect at all. Actually, that's not a concern of the state in regards to us at all.
Wasn't he? I thought he was charged with child neglect. I could be completely wrong. They are charged with neglect. Right. I thought so too, right? Like, wasn't that one of the charges? So is this just a bold-faced lie?
Which, again, this all comes from, there's this big gap of information that occurs because the state has what it initially has, and then the state has its case that it builds over the course of things. And we're not accused of that. In fact, the state is pretty clear. It's pretty obvious from, their observations and their interviews with us, with the children, with our family members, that isn't a concern of theirs at all. That the children love the hell out of us. We love the hell out of them. They have
it seems like it. Sure seems like you guys really love your kids.
A full home of activity and a great environment.
Full home of activity
to live in, that we're very involved with them. And
so, Chrissie, I mean, wouldn't you ask that as an interviewer? Hey, Nick, I thought you were charged with child neglect. But Chrissie just sits there as she chews on blades of grass the entire time. Why didn't your kids matter before this? And we have a little update of where Nick's kids are.
It's amazing.
How fun. Just your thoughts. You're alone with just your thoughts.
Just your thoughts and your sweet tea.
Have you seen your kids since all this went down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see our kids right now. We see them 5 times a week, and they'll be back in our house really soon. So,
oh wow, okay.
Again, it's another misconception. People think, again, they've created this fiction in their head that the state thinks that we abused our children or that we did anything other than the state's position is that there's this statute that says this happened. And again, without making any admissions or denials on stream publicly, that's the state's position, is that we're charged with this under this statute. All of the other stuff that people have created about child endangerment, child neglect, child maltreatment, that's not in the state's case. They don't believe that that's happened. And
we got to see that case report. I mean, because I feel like he was definitely charged with that. 44 minutes in, we're going to get a Kayla update.
It's famously said on Simcast, how have things been with, how have your relationships been? How are things with, I don't know. It sounds strange to be like, oh, how are things with your wife going? But
it's the good. It's this is really stressful. It's really hard. There's no peace when you're in the criminal justice system. There is none until you're out of it and out of it. There's the out of it, you're past your charges or whatever, and then there's the out of it as in any sort of probation or whatever that you have to do is done. So it's constant stress. You are in this community, and there's a stigma attached to you because of the charges, and that's just something you have to deal with. But other than that, I mean, it's good. She doesn't really like being on the internet. She doesn't really want to deal with that shit. So people
talked about, or just the mug shot.
No. She doesn't people have asked why they haven't seen her.
That's a foreign concept to Chrissie. She can't understand that, not wanting to be on the internet.
Why I haven't pulled her onto a live stream. It's well, she doesn't really want to be on a live stream. She doesn't want to be in a video.
She was never.
That would be too much. They were in a polycule, but being on a live stream, that's where we draw the line.
A live stream person, right? I mean, she'd come to anime. She'd come to a couple events, but
yeah, and she'd been on a couple she'd come on the stream a couple times throughout the years, but not often. But
damn. Not often. That's unfortunate for you, Nick.
Right now, it's mostly just she'd prefer her privacy as much as possible. But other than that, you do every day, and it's what are we doing today? Is there anything we have to do for the state in regards to getting the kids or to working on something? And there's always something that you have to do. And it's some piece of paperwork that you have to sign, or some we have to do random drug testing. So it's you wake up every morning and have to put your phone to a website or call a phone number, and they tell you if you test or not. Didn't have to test today, yay! But it's you may have to, and then that really throws a monkey wrench in doing much of anything, because if you're going to be gone, you have to find a place where there's a test that you can get to if you have to test. Like
April lives close by.
You guys, all three of you are kind of just like really hanging out most of the time as much as before.
So Chris, that's the only question Chrissy asked that was worth any sort of a shit.
Yeah, April lives really close by. We hang out a lot.
We hang out a lot.
I don't know. We're still friends. There's a weird thing that happens when you go through something like this with someone else. Like it's simultaneously extremely stressful, but also like it's a safe person to hang around. Because
is it like trauma bonding?
Maybe, but like, okay, it's like you can't just sit around talking about your lawsuit with people unless they're also like in the same boat. So it makes it convenient because you don't have to like worry so much about what you say. You don't have to have like is this going to get like recorded and put back somewhere or whatever? Like you don't have to have those concerns. You could just be, which is a really nice thing. And, unfortunately, like some of the people and would normally talk to, they develop opinions too. And you don't have time to dispel everything. So that stigma that sits around, it kind of in a way pushes people close together.
10940, April as the mistress update. Let's get it. Sorry.
And people get to have their
10 more hours,
I guess. But they're always just going to be their perceptions.
This one is about the tattoo from Garfield's Bizarre Adventure. Also, Nick, I saw the pics of you getting tattoos with your mistress.
April.
Again, they were not matching tattoos. It sucks that you spend time with April while Kayla is. No, I think you were all there. You said you were all there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we were all at the tattoo convention together. It's great. See, people again. This is misconception thing.
The internet, another thing getting wrong.
People believe that there's some sort of mistress thing going on.
Was there not?
And it's like, we're all friends. Like Kayla and I are married and April is our friend and our friend. Like April and Kayla.
You know what? I would almost believe him if he didn't go to Hedonism 2.
Have their own friendship.
So there's no more like hooking up happening.
People are like, well, people think that like
he doesn't deny it. There's no more hooking up happening, and he doesn't deny it.
So there's no more like hooking up happening.
People
and
are
he's
like
fidgeting. He's getting out of his seat.
Like, well, people think that like there's
completely ignores it.
That's a loaded question. Like, because that presumes something was going on prior. That again, like I'm not inclined to talk about any of this stuff in that way because it's not out there for people. But what people need to know is that there's
out there for people. I mean, it's out there. Just go to the Steel Toe Morning Show YouTube channel. It's out there. His entire catalog is about you, dog. Like mine is about him.
Like we are spotted out in public together because we are all like friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
awkward Keanu. So Keanu chats in. Watch the response Nick gives to Keanu.
So, hello to two of my favorite peeps. You both look great. Happy to see Nick looking healthy.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Yeah. Good to see you.
We love Cecil. Oh my gosh, it's Kiki. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Nick. Tell April I said hi. Aaron sucks.
How's it going, Keanu?
I have been hearing a lot of
How's it going, Keanu?
Kristen, did Nick please himself on stream, or is he getting a hawk tour?
God, I wish both of those were true. That's the fun part of the internet, because I could tell you what I was actually doing, but it might ruin the mystery.
What were you doing?
I was falling asleep and
Okay.
passing out, and I had a wound on my leg. I was literally pressing on it to get the pain response, try and stay awake. Really wish I was jerking off, but I had drank so much at that point, I don't know it would have made a difference.
Do you feel like you had a rock bottom moment through any of this, or?
You always hope you hit rock bottom, right? Like you always hope that that's happened and not something worse coming. So
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, that's good.
But
Daniel,
man,
That's good. Let me read another super chat.
no lasagna for you. From Lexi, can your wife go after Aaron for revenge corn?
It's more about, can the state do that? That's up to the state.
Okay. Fletcher Boyd,
So you heard it there.